welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. Thanks for watching the video so far. Hopefully you'll enjoy this little live match. I'm going to shoot at Partridge Lakes. We're back there for the Fishing Association Super Cup. That's a bit of a tongue twister. I'm against Nigel Jennings. Fingers crossed we can get a good peg and get through to the next round. But we'll do our best anyways. Hopefully we'll enjoy today's fishing. It's a bit milder now. Fingers crossed the fishing will be a bit better. So I'll get to the fishery, draw a flyer hopefully, and I will update you at the peg. Okay, so I've drawn peg 31 today, which isn't the best draw, but I'm glad not to be on Lake 1, which is over there. Just gonna get some gear set up. Not got a lot of time left, so I'm running a bit late. I had a few extra minutes in bed this morning. But yeah, I'll update you once we're set up and talk you through the rigs and the tactics. Right, so all set up now. I've got the camera stuff set up and I think my mic is going to be a lot better this time. I've got a much better mic. Fingers crossed, the sound's going to be perfect, but we'll see. I'll quickly show you for the bait. This is the peg. I've got like every other peg. Little mud line across, 2 edges. But it's not a very good peg, the wind's blowing down that way, but it's the Super Cup today, fishing against Nigel Jennings, so fingers crossed I'm going to get through, but we've both got not the best pegs, so I think it's quite an even match. Looking forward to it though, it's a lovely day. There's lots of fish pimping down the middle, so I've set a track rig up. I'm just going to fire maggots about 5 metres out my hand, and just aim to catch on the bottom, and I've got all my shallow rigs set up if I need them, so they're there, you know what I mean? And then so bait wise, I've got some micro pellets. Just some 2mm XL carp pellets, some maggots. These are some Lanes ones I had from last week, big old maggots. So I've got them, that's about 3.5 pints. Then I've got a 50-50 mix of micros and ground bait. And then I've just got my normal ground bait mix, that's just marine halibut and green swim mix, nice and heavy. I've got a few formal hard pellets, I've not got a rig up for that, but it's just in case really. And I've got some expanders, I'm going to chuck them in the water in a minute. I think what I'm going to do is just going to start across on that mud line. It plumbs up about 13, nearly 14 inches, which is about perfect I think. And then I can push an extra inch up tight against the bank if I need it. I'm going to start there, just fishing with a large guru pot. I'm going to just feed micros and ground bait to start with, see what's best. If there's lots of F1s in the bag, I'll just feed ground bait. Obviously I'm going to throw my maggots out my hand. Might get an odd fish on the bottom because I'm only aiming to catch like 40-50 pound. And then I've got 2 little edge lines about 5 metres. They're both 18 inches deep, perfect tight against the bank. So fingers crossed I might catch a few fish there late on. That's it really, just gonna keep it steady. I'll keep updating you through the match. Just gonna finish off a few bits, get my expanders out, and I'll catch up with you once we start fishing. Right, that's the match started. I just went and cleared my edges out because sometimes you can get some shit off the bottom, pardon my French, some little bits of roots and stuff like that. But they're pretty clear. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start on the mud line in about, it comes up about 13.5 inches, and put 3 maggots on the hook, 3 white maggots. I'm actually just going to start on ground bait, I've decided, just to see if I can drag something in the peg. Throw a few maggots over where I'm planning to fish on the bottom, maybe shallow, but I can't see shallow working. But you never know, sometimes even if it's hard you nick an odd one. Let's just see what happens here. Usually the mud is often worth a quick bite, so let's just see what happens. Comes up quite nice, like it's quite flat along this bank. It's like it kind of comes flat and then it goes in. That's all caved in on the right. But on this bit it's relatively flat. Like, you can get tight into the bank anyways. I think 13, 14 inches might be a touch shallow to start with, but later on if they actually want to feed in it, that'll be the best depth. Just using my back shot to hold my float still. There's loads of fish pimping up down the middle though, so I'm hoping that I might catch them on the bottom, just if I need to rest my lines and stuff like that. Just like an odd bite. So quite a few stockies in this lake, stuff like that. I was gonna fish it on like a top kit and a short 4 or something like that, dead short. But I decided to fish it a little bit further just to give me the option to catch a few up in the water if the wind comes this way. But I just like to start in the mud on this venue because I think it's often worth a few bites. That's where you're going to catch. If you're going to do well, you often catch in the mud when it's warmer. My thinking is now I might be fishing slightly too shallow. Not had any signs, and either side of me's had one. That side's had 2 fish. He's had 1 fish to my right. Fishing in like 18-inch 2 foot. What I'll do, I'll catch up with you once I hook one, and I'll let you know what the crack is. Right, we are 45 minutes into the match and it's dire, to be honest with you. I've had one F1 about 8 ounces down the edge, that was. Started in the mud line, not a bite. Went down the edge and caught that one stocky just out of the blue randomly. And then went across in 2 foot, missed a couple of liners, just fish swimming about, nothing. No proper bites. I've been feeding maggots down the middle, so I've just dropped on this just to see if I can catch anything really. It's not looking very good at all. Can't really see where I'm going to get a bite from. The lad to my left, AD, he's had about 5 or 6 fish, just fishing worms in about 2 foot. And same to my right, he's fishing worms as well in about 2 foot, and he's catching as well. So Don't know if I've picked the wrong bait or missed a sign then, or if it's just like in a bad area. I don't really know. Probably got 10 fish that to my right, like mainly little stockies, like they're only pound and a bit, maybe some odd better one, but you're just catching stockies, but can't get a sign. Struggling. So I don't know whether to go and grab my worms from my car and just chop some up just to give it a go. Just bright sun, flat calm. Oh no, gudgeon. That's bad news. But yeah, I'll just keep plodding on. Hopefully I'll sort something out soon. I wish I'd brought my worms to my peg, but I didn't really want to fish them. One of those, isn't it? It's like, if you do too much, it's going to confuse yourself. Just literally lay my rig in, feeding like 15-20 maggots twice over the top. I just thought I'd have a quick look on here, give it a few more minutes, see if I can get one. Because he's having a few on down the middle, down that bottom end, but better pegs down there, you know. It's another good one. That's not good. Don't know what to do. One more look while I have a think. But I'll keep plodding on. I'll catch up with you once I've figured something out. Well, we've hooked one down the middle anyways. At least it's a fish. Might as well just have another look on it if I'm catching. If I can get, I'm not probably only fishing for £30 here, you know what I mean? I've just got to hope that the lad that I'm against in the Super Cup doesn't catch anything. You know, it's not a very good peg. Have another go. Right, so this is my third fish in the mud now, I think. Just fishing in about 13 inches of water. Put a pot on it and I seen a swirl and went on it and just getting a few bites now, so fingers crossed I might keep going. Only small fish, that is. My fifth fish now, but only a biggest is like a pound. But I was fishing ground bait and maggots, and I literally just thought I'll just try micros with a little, literally just roll in and expand on the hook. In the medium pot of micros, and it went under straight away. But we'll see if see if it's a fluke or if pellets is better. Sometimes one or the other can be better. But when you get out to your mark, just turn your pole so your pot sort of turns around. Once you feel like you're ready, they've dropped out. Poop. Didn't push them in hard enough that time. Doesn't matter. So you'll probably just miss a bite now, because I didn't. It dropped in from a bit of a height, which isn't ideal. But it's alright, I'll just remember for next time. Make sure I push my pellets in a little bit harder. One's just bar way down my peg. I'll give it a couple of minutes, and then if I don't get a bite, come back and refeed, because the chances are when that fish has swam out, kicked its tail, and then my bait will be all over, which isn't what you want. That last bite, because I got my bait in nicely, got my big right over when my bait went in, got a bite straight away. Whereas this time I naffed my bait up, and now I'm waiting for a bite. Let's go, got one now. Still managed to catch one, but it might have. I think it would have got a bite quicker if I'd put my bait in a bit better. Only stocky, but I'm just pleased to getting bites, to be honest. Literally half a pound, but 6 fish anyways. Push them in a little bit harder this time, and hopefully that might keep them in just enough time to allow me to dunk them in nicely. Line up with my marker and just hold my pot under the water. Just long enough for my bait to come out, and then put my float right over the top. Thing is, I know that I'm in the depth. Like, if they're going to have a feed and come in, I'll be able to catch them in this depth. So it's just over 13 inches deep. You're not going to get problems with foul hookers. If you're going to catch them proper, this will be the depth. Wouldn't mind a carp or two, or a nice big F1 or something like that. Got one. Probably another stocky, but it feels slightly bigger. Pulled a bit anyways. But if I can keep this going, I'll be more than happy. I can't see it lasting for long, but it gives me a little bit of confidence. Oh, it's a little tiny little carp, so that's a little bonus. £1.5. Compared to what we've been catching. It's a nice fish, that. So that's 7 fish now. We waited a little bit longer for that bite, but it was worth the wait, so maybe pellets is better today, don't know. Well, you got to try both. I think if fish stop coming in my pegs, I'll start feeding 50-50, because pellets obviously seem to be quite good. And if I can get an odd bite, I'll be happy. So I'm going to pop my bait in like that. Bait's come out. Get my rig right over the top of that. There's a bit of a reed to the left. You can see that knocking a little bit. Just a bit wary that if I hook one, could shoot right round the back of that, but they're lovely bites on the mud when you get them. It just flies under. I don't think I'm in with a chance of winning any money today. I think the bottom end of the lake will take the spoils. But the aim of the day is to try and get through to the next round of that Super Cup. We'll have to just find out at the end what he's caught. I'll keep plodding on with this. Hopefully keep snaring a few. And I'll update you if anything changes or in an hour or so. Right, so we are just over halfway through the match now. I've got, this is my 16th fish. Caught most of them in the mud, to be honest with you. One nice carp, about 4 and a bit pound, and everything else I've caught everything in the mud apart from one down the middle and this one down the edge. So I'm quite happy with it. I think it's doing all right, I think, to be fair. Just, that was my first looking down the edge and it went straight under, so hopefully I can catch a little run here, but we'll see. But my 16 fish will probably be like 20 odd pound, 20, like a low 20 pounds, something like that. Like 25 pound. But the mud, there's fish in the mud, they're coming in. That every time that bright sun comes out, it just knackers it. It's tough going on here. People are catching an odd fish, but as far as I can see, I'm keeping up with what they're catching down the bottom end, I think. I've been feeding maggots down the middle. I've had a look on the bottom there. Nothing else after the one bite he had early. Just going to keep feeding maggots there with an off chance catching a few on the bottom or shallow late on. But I think hopefully I can just keep ticking over in these edges. Every time I come off them, I'll just put a pot of ground bait on them. Same with the cross. I'll just put 100 ml of ground bait on it. Early on I caught better on pellets on the mud line, feeding micro pellets with an expander on. But it went a bit iffy and I've switched to ground bait. It's hard to work out what's best. I'm fishing ground bait and maggots down here with a few micros in. I just feel more confident on that. But I might just try micros, we'll have to see. Well, there's an hour and 45 minutes left of the match. Still on 16 fish, no more signs, been back in the mud, been in both edges. I'm just giving this track a few minutes just to see if anything sat on the bottom. If it doesn't go, I'm just going to go back on the mud and just rotate until I find some fish. It's pretty tough. Luckily I've had like a big F1 3 pound, a carp about 4. And two small carp about 1.5 pounds each. So that's 3, 6, that's 10 pound just for four fish. And then obviously I've had a few other ones, so I'm hoping I've got 20 odd pound. Just gotta hope I get an arrival somewhere for you carp. If I can catch 50 pound, I'll be chuffed like. So I just need to catch another 25 pound. Doesn't seem to be anything sat on the bottom here, I'll tell you that. There's fish bubbling and fizzing and stuff like that, but they don't seem to want to go down and have a feed, so. Sometimes this line can be good. I remember sat here last June, sat on that peg there, and I had about 50 pounds just on the bottom on maggots. Getting a few indications, so there's probably a few fish dancing about up in the water, but I have had one little look shallow. Didn't get a bite, no bites. Literally give us 30 seconds and go back in the mud. I think I'm pretty sure I'll catch something late like last hour, down the edges or across. But just how many? Go back on the mud. Yes, come on. Get in there. Right. Only a stocky, but better than nothing. Pound, 17 fish. But that's a good sign. The wind's actually turning around and coming this way now. It was forecast to do that, so hopefully it keeps coming. And then you could get a late run on maggots up in the water, you just don't know. So keep feeding it. Ow. 17 fish. When I went in the bag to draw, well, when Nelly drew for me, there was 5 pegs left in. There was 2 pegs left on leg 1, which is not where I wanted to be at all. That lake's just switched off for some reason. And then there was 103, 31 and 77. 103 would have been a right peg today, I think. Would have loved that peg, but or even 77. But I'm just glad I wasn't on lake 1, so. You win some, you lose some. Come on, go under. Get in there. This is what we need. Only small fish, but in typical fashion, the GoPro decided to give up on me just when I started to catch. But what ended up happening was I just kept persevering with the mud line, and then eventually a few fish turned up with about an hour and a half to go. Caught in the mud steady, caught about 8 or 9 fish in a row. Then it slowed up last half hour, but luckily that was enough to put enough weight in my net to get me a good result. But keep watching and you'll find out exactly how we're done. Right, so we've just weighed in, and I've weighed in with 67 pound, which has been second in the section to Ian Latham, who's been all the way down the bottom end in the wind, might I add. He's had 71 pound. So don't think, to be honest, I think I've caught more than what I initially expected. Could have definitely done a few things different, possibly put a few more fish in the net, but I'm quite pleased with that. But the main thing is, my 67 pounds been enough to get me through to the next round of the Fishing Association Super Cup. The lad I've been against had 54 pounds, so that was a close battle. I thought it'd be close, but I had a little bit more than I thought. But I'm really pleased with that weight, to be fair. So yeah, over the moon to get through. That's job done really, and a section was only going to be a little extra. So yeah, I'll go and have a sit down in the box and I'll talk you through the rigs. Okay, so in terms of rigs for today that I've used, the main rig that I've caught pretty much, I've got 30 fish in the mud, 1 down there and 2 down there to make 33 fish. So the only rig that I really need to show you is this one. Got white hydro, that's the best elastic for all time, all through summer. That's the one I use on here. Got a large guru pot on the end, which is what I was using most of the match, but I have fished a medium sometimes. I've got a little bead connection like that. I think that's the best way of doing it. I use these kits for shallow as well, so I connect all of mine like that just to make it nice and direct. Little number 8 back shot, just to keep the rig stable so I can pin it exactly where I want it. When them fish come into your peg on the mud and down the edge, they'll waft your rig about and make issues for you anyways. Then I've literally got 2 depths marked on, so that's 18 inches, that's for either edges, get like 5 metres. And then I've got a mud line which was about 13 inches tight against the banking. I fished that most of the day, just took my runs of fish when they came, and I've literally just got a little bulker shot, number 8 and number 10, 0.17 main line and a 3-inch hook length. See you later. See you, Eddie, thank you. And a little 3-inch hook length and a 16 Super LWG. Just fish out 13 hook lengths all through the summer on here. I don't think there's any need to go any lighter. Occasionally I'll go a bit heavier if I'm catching just carp, but other than that, that's the rig, dead simple. A little muddy, nice thick tip so it's nice and stable, and a nice long line. I just like to keep a long line so I can keep the rig, keep my pole tip away from my flow. And that's it. The only other thing I want to mention is this little pole cup in my washout. This is a 100ml one from Guru, and I like to use a little one because it stops me overfeeding my peg. Because all I do is when I want to feed my peg, I literally just fill that up with ground bait, cap it off the end like that, and then just dunk that in. And that's how I keep my pegs fed. So when I'm trying to prime the edges and across in the mud, if I come off a line, I'll just put a pot of that in. That just stops me overfeeding my peg. I did have a rig set up for down the middle for on the bottom. That's just a little 4x16s, 1.7mm Maggie, just in case I want to catch an odd fish on the bottom. I mean, I know people have caught on that today. Him down there has had a few fish on it, but it was just more of a line to rest my mud line, which turned out to be the best. But I really enjoyed today. Didn't win any money. I was about £4 off the section win, but to make it through to the next round of the Super Cup, over the moon, that's job done. So thankfully it was enough. Hopefully you enjoyed that little video. If I can find the lad that I was against, so I'll have a little chat to him. But yeah, hopefully that was informative, you enjoyed it. Hopefully the sound was better this time. And yeah, other than that, I'll see you on the bank sometime soon in tight lines. So here's my opponent for the day, Nigel. Luckily my £67 was enough to pip you. Yeah. So I'm obviously pleased about that, but hard luck.
Yeah, well, it's been a tough day today for both of us, I think.
Yeah,
we've really had to work hard. I think
it's been quite a fair match, to be fair, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've both drawn pretty poor, I think. So we've had a little head-to-head. How have you caught?
Interestingly, most of my fish came on the bottom. The first few were decent eyed, shallow.
Yeah, yeah.
And then all the signs disappeared, so I just went down on the deck and was steady away.
You were on peg 54.
Peg 54.
I've been on 31, so we've been on different lakes, but just next door. I've caught mainly in the mud, so 2 different methods, but been a nice little battle.
Yeah, good day today.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Best man won.
Very nice to meet you.
And you.
Yeah, so we'll call that a day, and I'll see you on the next one.